Hello, everyone. Welcome to Truly Bedrock Season 4. This is episode 15. And, yeah, look at that. The mushroom, the toadstool, the power up. Oh, it's so cool. It turned out so good. I love doing things like that, and last episode was one of my favorites. So anyway, we did the prank. We gave Zloy a gift, and we also made a shop in last episode. Oh, the video was, it turned out pretty good. You guys seem to love it, which is the best part. Having fun making it and people enjoying it, that's like A plus in my book. Um, the shop has been doing pretty good. I've made a total of about 18 diamonds off of this, and we've done a little bit of mining. And looks like I need to restock a little bit. Nobody's bought any candles yet. But we've got some things going on. And one thing that I didn't really show with the shops is Gruva has a shop right over here. So I've got a plan that is going to finish up the second layer of my base. We're going to put something in that last slot. We have, the bee farms on each side, and then we have another wart farm on one side, and then we've got an empty side. But I need to do some digging. And I've dug most of my base out by hand so far. So I think what we need to do is we need to buy ourselves a dumb way to die kit. Yes. Yep. Gruva sells, obviously, beacons. Well, not beacons. Sells the ingredients to make a beacon. All we have to do is cook it. There are some other things like magma cream, blaze rods, bones. He's got coal. And what does that say? Arrows free to mending bow degenerates. And it looks like he's got some shulker boxes for sale as well. So, let us grab a kit. Now, as with every season of Truly Bedrock and every base I've built, as well as every little thing I've ever built, I always chunk-align it, right? No, I do not, but I do need to chunk-align what I'm going to be building back here. So I've got this guy going on, and we did pretty good. The center of our base is kind of almost on a chunk. But we'll shut that down for now so that we don't see all of the different chunk lines. So as I said earlier, we bought the ingredients from Gruva to make a beacon, and now all we need to do is cook it. So to do that, we need a few other things to construct ourselves a little bit of an oven. And one of these things we're going to have to go out and search for. But we need a couple of buckets of water, dirt with a sunflower, and we're going to need some obsidian. That should do it. That should build a nice oven. So I did find a sunflower on our little adventure. I did collect some sugarcane just in case I couldn't, because I can use a locator map as well. I would have had to dig out some iron and some redstone once we reached this point, but to cook this beacon, and you'll see that I grabbed two, we're actually going to bake two of these beacons. We need to build an oven, and the oven is very specific where we need to build it, which happens to be in the end. So let's go through and check out what's happening over here. Now, being in the end dimension is going to serve a dual purpose. Not only can we cook our beacons, but we can stand underneath this little deal over here and get ourselves some much needed ender pearls. That is a mob drop that I am severely lacking. So, part of our oven is built. It's right here, this guy right here. But we need to do a little bit of digging to get the housing correct for our oven, and start placing in a few more things so that we can cook our beacon. So now that we have the oven cleared out so that we could expose the heating element of the top side of the oven, we need to find the west side of the end dimension so that we can place our lid, or our opening rather, on the correct side, which needs to be on the west side. And to do this, as I said before, you can use a locator map. Face your character north, and on your right will be east, and on your left will be west, and behind you will be south. The other thing you can use is a sunflower. It will point always to the east no matter where you're at. It's a good little trick to know, and this, of course, right here is going to be our east side, or our west side, rather. So we need to fill in these 3 blocks right here. And now that we have this section all done, what we can do is come underneath here, and right on the face of the portal, we're going to place in some obsidian, like so. And we need to fill this thing in until there is a 2-block gap on either side of it. There we go. And this will represent the bottom heating element for cooking our beacon. Like so. Perfect. Now the next thing that we will do is we will go ahead and make our little lid opening. Get ourselves all set up with getting out of here and being able to place in our beacon. Like that. Perfect. Sure, we'll do that. The last little thing that we need to do involves our buckets of water here. We are going to need to actually create an infinite water source. And despite the way most ovens work, this one is going to need a little bit of water cooling. So we need to place in water like so. All the way around this. And this is what you should end up with. Water all the way around these sides here. All the way around like so. There is a water source on each one of these blocks going all the way around. And now when we walk in here, we should have a pretty decent setup here. And all we have to do now is come in where the lid is open and place in our beacon in a specific order. Got to place in the bottom parts of it like so, and then the top parts like so. And stand back and watch this thing cook to perfection. It's going to take a little bit of time, but it's going to work very, very nicely. One thing to note, if you are playing on hard difficulty here on Bedrock, do not go hit this thing while it's cooking. It will pop out of the oven and it will destroy everything. If you're playing on normal or even easy mode, you can go up and give it a few swipes of your sword. I did this last season where I got a few different heads and stuff like that, but highly recommend do not hit this. Alright, we just gotta wait for the timer to pop, which should happen any second now, and our beacon will be cooked. Perfect. Dun dun dun. So easy, right? Alright, let's cook our second beacon. Nice and easy. Like so. Second beacon acquired. Again, you have to cook it in the oven. We did lose some water sources right here, which can be dangerous. We do want the water sources so that the blocks don't get broke and wither stays in here. But all in all, not bad. Let's go ahead and leave an infinite water source here just in case. How many did we lose? 4? So, of course, if you build this oven yourself, cooking times vary. With the Wither, about 3 to 4 minutes on 450 degrees, and it should yield you at least the first ingredient of our beacon. We actually have to do a little bit more cooking. But first off, we're going to get some ender pearls. Now, a little side note before we head back to the base is if you're going to be wandering around the end, this is like a little trick, little tip that I learned a long time ago. It's a good idea to have thorns on your armor, as well as don't have your wings have a chest plate, because thorns will hit these guys, and if you find yourself in a precarious position out in raiding, it'll come, trust me, it'll come in handy to have a little bit of thorns. But let's head back to the base. Now, the last cooking part, or the second baking of the beacon, requires just a simple crafting oven. And all we have to do is place in the materials like so, and we have ourselves a full-on beacon. Now, I did grab myself 2 of these, but I only need 1 for the moment. The second one is going to be a beacon that we are going to have to get a base for, of course, and then we'll utilize it for other things, such as digging massive holes, digging the rest of the base. It's just going to be a mobile beacon. So I want to place this thing in, but I want to place it in a way that is going to both work for my base, but not look terrible. So we're going to need to find a place to place the beacon. Well, it's good to know that the beacon beam does still work with slabs and stuff like that on top of it. We do have just the base beam, so we will go with just a haste for now. Which, there it is in the upper right hand corner. The duration isn't very long, and I don't think that the effect of this beacon is very far. But the other thing that I want to see is if, let's say we were to place in a block like this and grab ourselves a sticky piston, as well as a lever. Can we shut this beacon beam off, and does it retain its... There we go, let's let the haste run out, so we can shut the beacon beam off. But the question is, does it retain what I gave it for a power-up when it's reactivated? It does! That's awesome. That is awesome. Okay, so now it's time to find a place for this. Realistically, I would want the beacon beam right here. Coming through the center of the base, shining up. But the problem with that is we're going to continue to dig down. But maybe, we would have to do something different with this center pillar here, but this might not be impossible. It's a Wushu Man. He's flying from portal to portal. Oh, delivering mushrooms to all the good people of Truly Bedrock. It looks like he shot out of the portal. Oh. Too funny. Oh, I definitely need to do more of this. Yes. Yes, I do. I struggled for a bit, kind of mulling around the base, trying to figure out exactly where to put this beacon. I messed around with a few things, and then we got sidetracked. We went and did some mining. We did some shopping. Linked up the nether portal to the Mushroom Island a little higher in the world so that it is at the same elevation as the nether hub. Gored into a lava lake and died. We did some more shopping, and we brewed a whole bunch of fire-resist potions so this won't happen again. Also took some time and organized our ender chest with some actual shulker boxes of things that we might need with room for expansion. We rebuilt our bow, and we rebuilt our wings. Got ourselves a healthy supply of diamonds and things like that. And through all of that, we finally rested on a temporarily permanent location of our beacon. So I muddled around originally with the idea of placing the beacon at the bottom of the elevators here. I can't put it here as I was originally intending, as the beacon is, you know, a 3x3 and then a 5x5 and then a 7x7, and that would definitely block the elevators. I could come all the way down here and put it underneath here and then change out this center column, but I do have plans for further expansion downwards, so we're going to wait to move it into the center of my base, because this is the dead center of my entire base. I tried to put it over here, but it interfered with the bee farm just ever so slightly. So what I ended up doing is deciding to place the beacon right here. But you can see this piece of cobblestone, and if I press this lever right here, it retracts and the beacon turns back on, and we now have haste 2. So a couple of quick things about beacons. The area effect is 50 blocks. I believe that's a radius, so 25 out that way, 25 out that way. I may be wrong. This beacon does have an area of effect downwards. If the beacon's placed here and we go down 50 blocks, we lose the area of effect, but we can actually go all the way up in the sky and we will never lose the area of effect as long as we stay within the beacon range. So the idea is you do want to place these as low in the world as you can. I did a little bit of testing in a creative world, and that's how I learned that. You see, if we go all the way up here even to where the beacon beam disappears, I still have the haste effect. And we're almost 100 blocks away from it. It does not happen on the other side. If you go underneath this thing, it does only work to 50 blocks. So my reasoning for placing my beacon over here is this is actually right above where we're going to dig. It will... Maybe it is 50... It is 50 blocks this way. But it is going to be able to reach most of where we are digging. Once we start getting things more finalized and figuring out exactly where every little piece and part goes in our base, we are going to move that. That's why I say this is a temporarily permanent position. Now the neat thing is we can just push the cobblestone and we do effectively kill our beacon beam so we don't see it, because I do think it takes away from the look of the base. Did place a secondary lever here, just for symmetry's sake. Another thing to note about the beacon, and I do need to open this back up. You can kill this beacon beam by taking one of the blocks that the beacon sits on and pulling that back, but that will actually ruin the effect that you get from your beacon, rendering it useless, and you would have to reset it every time. I did some testing. I did some testing. And with that block placed back in, we are now done for today. We got our beacon, so I can actually start digging out my project a little bit faster than doing it by hand with some kind of pickaxe and a lot of patience. Plus, this will make digging the other portions of my base out a lot easier. Another thing that I forgot to mention, right there, I did put a water source underneath my brewing stand so we could brew a bunch of potions. And that is going to do it for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed learning how to cook a beacon and a little bit about beacons, area of effects, and things like that. As always, if you did enjoy the video, you guys know the routine. Like, comment, consider subscribing if you're new to the channel. Check the description down below for all the different ways to follow me, including Twitter, Twitch. There's a link to Patreon down there. There's a link to all the Truly Bedrock things, such as Discord and the website, and there's also a link to all the other Truly Bedrock members' YouTube channels. Go check them out. A lot of great content out there. Time of recording this last final clip is Monday morning. I did want this video to come out Sunday, but we got a little sidetracked. We got a lot sidetracked. Oh, so I hope I can get this thing edited and out to you guys tonight. And wish me luck. But by the time you're seeing this, everything would have been said and done, so wish me luck for the next episode. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.